art, writing, imagination, creativity, all of those things that you enjoyed. How did you go through that process and make your decision? Because you are an art orthodontist. So it's for me, it feels like drastically a different world from where you were thinking and enjoying the things that you were doing.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I just had no idea, and I think that's probably the most common place to be as a high school junior, senior. I had all these separate competing interests. I mean, I love to run track, but I knew I wasn't quite good enough to do that as a college student, and certainly not. There's no real careers in that. I knew I loved science, math, that sort of thing, but I didn't have a super specific passion for like necessarily biology or physics or anything like that. So that was more just a general thought of, okay, I know I'm good at this and would probably enjoy it. I knew I liked to write and draw, but I had never found that specific way to combine those two in an enjoyable way. I thought maybe I could do like watercolors on the side or like be kind of like a hobbyist painter and be fulfilled by that. But and I took a stab at that, but it just didn't quite click. I hadn't discovered cartooning, book writing and illustrating. So that wasn't even on my radar, even though looking back now, it's pretty obvious that I could have could have tried that and had fun with it. So I picked chemical engineering. Engineering, it combined science, math, etc. There was a bioengineering path, and maybe just the word bioengineering sounded cool. As silly as that sounds, I didn't quite know what it was, but I thought, oh, they're taking engineering concepts and applying them to medicine. That seems like a cool futuristic type thing. So yeah, I chose that, and I went to the University of Kansas, the big state school, which is great university to be at. A lot of people, energy, plenty of people to encounter different than myself and my background, and that was just really neat to be exposed to that environment. But I got to engineering school and realized I'm fairly adept at this. I can do it, but it's not bringing me joy. It's not certainly not my passion. And I could probably grit it out and make it through and get my degree and go work in this field, but that's not really what I want to do long term. And yet I hadn't found my artistic pursuit either. So I was still doing things on the side and just kind of playing around with watercolor paints or things like that. I started dating Kayla, who eventually became my wife, and she had a family member who worked with dentists and said, "Oh, this is pretty cool. Check it out." Went and shadowed a few. I realized, oh, that's neat. It's hands-on. There's a craftsman aspect to it. There's quite a bit of science in it. Really, no math, which is okay, I guess. Let me try that. So I got down that path. And around the time I was applying and getting into dental school, I submitted a drawing to my local student or to the university newspaper, a cartoon. They published it. I saw my drawing in print, the external, gratification again, right? And I
Yeah.
realized, okay, it's pretty cool to see my words, my drawings being read by a bunch of students. So I started drawing for them for the student newspaper 5 days a week, which is kind of a crazy schedule. Occasionally I'd hit upon like a good idea. Most of them were not great, but it was fun. I was having a lot of
Mhm.
enjoyment from it. And I realized, okay, I'm getting into dental school. This path's underway.
Right.
Now I found cartooning. Now I discovered this artistic outlet that's really feels like me. How can I keep both of these things going?